Dear students, in this session we are going to discuss about a technique called Ajax. Ajax is not a programming language. Actually, it is a technique which can be used with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Let us explore the world of Ajax. Let us start this session with the question, what does Ajax stand for? Ajax is standing for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Now we can have a look at what is Ajax. First of all, you should remember or you should keep in mind that Ajax is not a language. Ajax is not a programming language. Then we are having a question, what is Ajax? Ajax means it is a group of related existing technologies compiled together or technique to make web pages feel more responsive. So this is actually a technique or it is a group of techniques which is used to make the web pages more interactive. It makes interactive web pages by providing a way for the web page to interact with the server. So Ajax is useful in cases of interactive web pages, in case of making interactive web pages by providing a path for the web page to interact with the corresponding server. And Ajax is actually a framework. Now we can see how the corresponding Ajax works in a web application. How Ajax works. So actually Internet is a client server architecture. So a client is there as well as a server is there. Client is making requests and the server is handle the requests which will be forwarded by the corresponding client. So Ajax is a technique which works with this HTTP response as well as HTTP request objects. So here we are having a diagram. In the diagram we can see that there will be a browser and there will be a server there. So in this particular diagram, the client server communication will initiated by the client. So here our browser, in case of internet, browser is the client. So whenever an event occurs on the browser side or client side, what happens is the browser will create an XML HTTP request object. So if any type of event occurs on a web page, it will create an HTTP request object. Then this request object is sent along as a HTTP request over the internet. So what happens here it is this XML HTTP request object is sending over the internet towards the server. On the server side, the server receives the corresponding client request and server processes that corresponding HTTP request. So based on the request, server will produces a response object and it will send the requested data back to the browser with the response object. So it create a response and send data back to the requested browser. So this data transfer is happened over the internet. Then data is reached at the browser side. The response object should be reached at the corresponding browser side. Then what does the browser do? It processes the return data using JavaScript. Some data is arrived in response object. So in the browser, it will process the corresponding return data and it will update the corresponding page content. So Ajax is commonly working with this particular XML HTTP request and the corresponding response object. Now let us see how this Ajax should be enabled in an HTML web page, or how this Ajax works in a particular HTML web page. Here we are having a detailed diagram related to the working of Ajax. Let us see. Here this is the body part of the web page, and this is the script part of the corresponding web page, and this fully termed as our client or the browser window, or this is the browser part. And the right side we can see the server part, which contains a web container, which contains a servlet program, then a database is here. So this is our server architecture, and this is our client architecture. So let us we can see numbers here, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is the order where the corresponding working of the web page illustrates. So here this is an input element in the corresponding web page. This is used for data entry. So whenever the corresponding user inputting a value here, so here the data entered is Duke. So on key up event. So whenever the data is uh, inputting to that particular field, what happens is an event occurs on the corresponding web page. Here on key up event occurs. So what happens whenever an event occurs, that particular event should be converted in the format of a request object. So here this Duke data, in the Duke data an on key up event occurs, so that this particular data will be converted in the format of an XML HTTP request. So for converting that thing, the code is available in the script portion of the corresponding web page. So in the script portion, so this event should be converted in the format of XML HTTP request, so that this request will be forwarded to the server through internet. That is our third part. So the question in that particular request object is whether we have to validate the corresponding data Duke. Validate ID is equal to Duke. So it will reach us on that particular request reached the corresponding server side. In the server side there will be a servlet program. So servlets are small program which are executed on the server side. So here there is a Java program called validate servlet. So this validate servlet program is used to check the validity of data comes in the corresponding HTTP request object. So in the corresponding validate servlet, it will check the validity of the data is Duke valid with the corresponding database. And the database here mentions that it is false. That means the data is not valid. So from the database it gets the information that it is a false value, so that that information will be given back to the validate servlet program. From the validate server program, this false information will be given back to the requested browser as HTTP response object. So a message is included in the corresponding response object, invalid message, and that response object is given back to the requested HTML web page or requested browser. So here for this in the script part, this HTTP response will be taken, and here it retrieves the corresponding response object, and function callback will be happen, and in that particular HTTP response through this particular script it identifies that an invalid message is given back from the server, so that invalid ID is mentioned as output of the corresponding web page. So this is actually enabled by the Ajax. We are having some examples with Ajax so that it will be much more clear. Before moving to the internet standards, I will give an example. For example, while we are doing the surfing, so while you are taking the website like google.com, so while you are trying to search something, your first word is where. You type where. Then whenever you are typing where, after entering the term where, you will get a lot of suggestions. Where is my train? Where is my phone? A lot of suggestions will appear on the corresponding web page. These suggestions are actually arrived with the help of Ajax technology. So in order to make the user uh, much more interactive with the corresponding environment, this Ajax enables what should be the possible suggestions for that particular term. So Ajax will try to bring out all the suggestions based on our keyword. That is one of the usage of Ajax in our program. Now let us see the internet standards. XHTML, HTML and CSS. All these things are used for displaying the data. Then JavaScript, XML, HTTP request calls. It is used to exchange data asynchronously with the server. And XML, which is used to transfer the data. DOM, document object model, it is used to navigate the hierarchy of X or XHTML or HTML elements. So these are the things which can be used for web page designing. XHTML and CSS. Elements are identified with XHTML code that will be worked with the corresponding JavaScript code, and these provide the visual layout and structure for how the XML data will be displayed or performed on the client machine. These things are defined by the HTML or XHTML or CSS side, and CSS provides the styling of that particular components which are designed in HTML. Now we are having a look at JavaScript XML HTTP request. So it provides a connection between XHTML elements and how they behave. So this makes a connection between XHTML or HTML elements and how they behave in a particular document. It sends XML HTTP requests on demand when the user creates events. So whenever a user creates an event on the corresponding web page, that event should be, or that event data should be converted as an XML HTTP request. Handles events both from the user and replies from the server. So this this XML HTTP request, it can handle events both from the user and as well as it can handle the replies that are arrived from the server. It can parse XML data and map it to the data objects needed in the JavaScript. So this XML HTTP request object is having a parsing option which can parse the XML data and it can be correctly mapped to the data objects that are needed in the JavaScript. It updates the XHTML elements as needed. So it is used for updating XHTML as well as HTML elements if a need arises. Let us see XML. XML provides format for data transfer between the JavaScript and server. So XML is a technique which is used to transfer the data from browser to the corresponding server. That is, the data transfer between the client towards the server is happening through XML. DOM. DOM, we know that DOM stands for Document Object Model. Two DOMs are involved in the case of Ajax, one for the elements in XHTML or HTML and one for the elements in the XML file. And in case of doing Ajax, two types of document object model should be created for a particular web page. and one document object model is created for the elements in corresponding XHTML or HTML file, and another term is created for the elements in the XML file. DOM defines the logical structure of the documents. See, we already discussed the concept of document object model. In case of document object model, it represents all the objects in a particular web page in the format of a tree. That is, a hierarchical representation of elements of HTML is happened in DOM. So here also a logical structure of the documents can be defined using this DOM architecture, and it can be used by any programming languages. So this document object model can be used by any programming language because inside the DOM everything is represented logically, so that the programming languages can easily use this particular DOM. It's used for navigating around the tree structure. So everything is represented in the format of tree of objects so that navigation is easy. It provides quick access for changing or modifying elements. Since it follows a tree structure, that is a hierarchical manner, so that data can be accessed easily for changing as well as for modifying the data elements. Quick access is there. The most important thing which is related to Ajax is XML HTTP request. So XML HTTP request object is used for fetching or returning data. So actually the request is sent from a browser towards the corresponding server. Here browser will be the client and server is the resource provider. So XML HTTP request is always initiated by a corresponding client. So the request is encapsulated in the format of an object. So XML HTTP request object is used for fetching or returning data from the server. This XML HTTP request object can be synchronous or asynchronous. Ajax uses it asynchronously. So this HTTP request object can be used in both ways, synchronous and asynchronous. Allows the web pages to get more data from the server incrementally and asynchronously while the user is doing other things. So this XML HTTP request object allows the web pages to get more data from the server incrementally. So this request object is used for accessing some data from the server, and this request can be provided asynchronously while the user is doing other things. So if a user is sending a request, at the same time user can do or can deal with some other multiple tasks. Examples are Gmail, which continuously asks the server for new mail, and Google Maps, which update only the new parts of the map when the user mouses or clicks a new point. So these are some examples which are provided by Google for this asynchronous data transfer, or this Gmail example as well as Google Maps are examples for XML HTTP request and asynchronous processing of data. So this Gmail is continuously looking for new emails, as well as if you are doing with Google Maps. Google Maps always make updates about new parts of the map while the user clicks or mouses over a particular point. So these are the best examples for the usage of Ajax. And in addition to that, in case of Google Chrome, if you are providing the starting letter in the Google Chrome address bar, it will try to make related terms to our initial term. So in the Google Chrome itself will suggest some more terms in the corresponding address bar. This is another example of using Ajax in the corresponding web page. So suggestions can be created using this Ajax facility. Let us see what are the advantages of Ajax: asynchronous, JavaScript and XML. These are the advantages: interactivity, bandwidth usage, encourages modularization, allows non-related technologies to work together. So this Ajax provides interactivity to our web page. So asynchronous transmission of data back and forth should be happen. It will make the web pages more interactive. Regarding the bandwidth usage, if you are using Ajax in our web application, it will reduces the usage of bandwidth. Another advantage is it encourages modularization. So modularization means we are splitting the corresponding data or application into smaller units in terms of functions, or in terms of structure, or in terms of style, like that. Splitting up the data into different components. So function, data sources, structure and style are some examples for modularization. And another important advantage of Ajax is it allows non-related technologies to work together. Server-side languages, databases, client-side languages, etc. So Ajax is a technique which can be worked with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, JSON, then PHP. All these things are related, are interconnected for the purpose of a particular web application. HTML is used for designing the web page, CSS which is used for applying styles to the web page, then JavaScript makes interactivity, JSON is used for transferring data back and forth to the corresponding server, and PHP is a server side coding. So all these things, uh, in addition to these five components, Ajax also work with this type of technologies, or this type of programming languages and technologies. So this Ajax is easily compatible with the server-side languages, databases, client-side languages, etc. So now we can consider the disadvantages of Ajax. It is difficult to debug because it is asynchronous. So the debugging option for Ajax is very difficult since it occurs asynchronously. Search engines cannot index or optimize. If you are using search engines, this type of search engines are not able to index or optimize the Ajax functionality. Browsers handle XHRs differently. That is, Internet Explorer did not have a native one till version 7. Back button and bookmarks may not work as accepted. So this back button as well as bookmarks are not working in a proper way as we expected. Then may experience response time or latency problems if there are many frequent updates. So I already told you that Ajax is a technique which can work asynchronously, but if you are having multiple updates at the same time, this Ajax technology can show a delay in giving the corresponding response. So it will be stated like this: may experience response time or latency problems if there are many frequent updates. Now let us consider the uses for Ajax. Real-time form data validation when server-side information is required. So Ajax technique is used for form data validation in real time when server side information is needed. So this is used for a kind of form data validation. Then auto completion, again when server side info from a database, for example, is needed. So this Ajax technique can be used for auto completion. I already mentioned about the suggestion facility available in Google. So in case of Google search engine, if you are typing your first term, it will suggest some terms which are frequently used in the corresponding search engine. So that suggestion facility is available. That is mentioned by the term auto completion. Then sophisticated user interface controls and effects such as progress bars. Using this Ajax technology, we can create some sophisticated user interface controls and effects, including the progress bars. Getting current data without reloading a full page. So we can retrieve the data that is available on a web page without loading the complete web page. So Ajax technology, using this particular Ajax technology, we can retrieve the current data from a particular web page without making a reload functionality on that particular web page. So these are the uses of Ajax. First one is it is used for form data validation in real time. Another facility is auto completion. Then sophisticated user interface controls and effects can be provided. Then getting current data without reloading a web page. These are the uses of Ajax. I already mentioned that XML HTTP request object is the main component of Ajax. So here we can see how we can send a request to a server using the Ajax technique. The XML HTTP request object is used to exchange data with a server. So to send a request to a server, we use the open and send methods of the XML HTTP request object. So in order to establish a connection from client to this corresponding server, first of all we have to open that XHTTP request channel, and it can be done using the open function, and using the send function we can send the data from client tools to the corresponding server. So this code is available here for opening the corresponding connection towards the server as well as for sending the data. Here xhttp.open get ajax underscore info.php comma true. So this open function xhttp.open is used for opening the connection from client to the server, and data transfer should be done in get method, and this is the corresponding information page or target page of the data transfer. And the third parameter is true. True indicates that it should perform asynchronous data transmission. Then xhttp.send. Send means it sends the request to the server, and here if the code is like this, this particular client will send the data by using the get method towards the server, and this is the destination file on the server side where this particular request is to be executed. So these are some of the methods which are associated with XML HTTP request object. So the first method is open method. We already seen the open method. Open method take three parameters: method, URL, asynchronous. So here open method specifies the type of the request, and first argument of the open method specifies the type of the request, how the data transfer should be happen, whether it is get method or it is post method. That is mentioned as the first parameter. Second argument is the URL. So the second argument indicates the server file location, and third argument is representing the asynchronization. If you are, it takes a boolean value. If we put true value means data transfer should occur asynchronously. Otherwise, it will occur synchronously. That is about open method. Another important method related to XML HTTP request object is send. So send method sends the request to the server. So this send method is used for sending the request from client towards the server. And another format of the send method is send with a parameter, string parameter. So it sends the request to the server, and the first type of send with no arguments specifies the get method, and send with a string argument specifies the request towards the server is a post method. So these are the methods which are associated with XML HTTP request object. Remember, this XML HTTP request object is used to exchange data with the server. Then dealing with server response. Once notified that asynchronous request has been successfully completed, you may then utilize the information returned by the server. Ajax allows you to return in number of formats including text and XML data. You may then translate and display within the current page. Using xhttp.response text property, data can be returned by the server in text form. So here this portion is dealing with the server response. So XML HTTP request object is used for sending requests from client to the server. And now we discussing about the response object. And once the corresponding request is sent from browser to the server, we have to utilize the information that is returned by the server. Ajax permits a number of formats like text and XML data to manipulate the corresponding response. We can translate the corresponding response from server and we can display it in the current web page. And this xhttp.response text is a property where data can be returned by the server in text format. So if we are using this method, the data returned by the server should be in text form. These are some of the methods which will be associated with this HTTP objects. On ready state change, it determines which event handler will be called when the object's ready state property changes. Then ready state request. ready stage. It represents an integer reporting the status of the request, and 0 means it is uninitialized, 1 means it is in loading stage, 2 means it is loaded, 3 means it is in interactive mode, and 4 means it is completed. Then another property is status. The class of status codes indicates the action requested by the client was received, understood, and accepted. 200. Okay. So it's a standard response for successful HTTP request. So these are the some of the methods which are associated with HTTP request as well as response object. Now we are having a diagram. In the diagram we can see that how the components of Ajax works together. So here this is a web page. We are having a capture event functionality as well as update page functionality is there. So it will be this update page as well as capture event is associated with the Ajax engine. So inside the Ajax engine, we are having this XML HTTP request. So this Ajax engine is responsible for creating server request, sending the server request, monitor the status of corresponding request, and this engine is responsible for getting the response back from the uh, right from the server, and this engine is also responsible for processing the return data from the server, and finally this engine should display that particular or update that particular data on the web page. On the server side, what happens is request will be arrived, then it will be produces a ready status message to the Ajax engine, as well as after processing the corresponding request, it will give a response back to the Ajax engine of the web application. So these are the functionality. Here we can see the functionality that should be done by the Ajax engine. Create server request, sending the request, monitor status, get responses, and process the return data from server to the give back to the web page. And finally, we can conclude that Ajax is a technique. It is used for creating fast, dynamic, and responsive web pages. Ajax applications are browser and platform independent. So this is about the functionality of Ajax. It's a technique which is used for creating very fast, dynamic, interactive web pages, and this thing is browser as well as platform independent. If you want to know more about the Ajax, you can go through the corresponding references.